IT relief fund fuels a consumption budget. Finance Minister focuses on agri, MSMEs and exports. The outlook for Indian economy has changed significantly since Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman rose to present the first full budget of the third Narendra Modi government in July 2024. The last available gross domestic product growth number then was 8.2% for 2023-24. Economic growth has since slipped, and the Indian economy expanded by 6% in the first half of the ongoing year, and the official growth projection for the current financial year is 6.4%. Against this backdrop, the Union Budget for 2025-26, Nirmala Sitharaman's record 8th consecutive budget was presented on a Saturday, which proposed several measures including ease of doing business initiatives to boost economic prospects. The budget focused on four major engines: agriculture, micro, small and medium enterprises, investments and exports. It's like agriculture, micro, small and medium enterprises, investments and exports. The biggest highlight of the budget, however, was the relief extended to the middle class taxpayers. According to the proposal, no income tax will be levied on income up to 12 lakh rupees. The slab rates have also been changed under the new regime. As Sitharaman noted in her speech, taxpayers in the new regime will, with an income of 12 lakh rupees, will get a benefit of 80,000 rupees. People in higher slabs will also benefit. The benefit of a taxpayer with an income of 25 lakh, for example, will be 1 lakh 10,000 rupees. The government as a result will forego revenue worth 1 trillion rupees. The impact of tax relief was visible in the stock market with increased investor interest in consumer-facing companies. Shares of Maruti Suzuki, for example, went up by about 5% in trade on a day when the benchmark index BSE Sensex remained flat. Further, to increase the ease of paying taxes and simplify the tax law, the government will introduce a new income tax bill next week. The relief to the middle class was extended without compromising on fiscal prudence. The fiscal deficit for the ongoing year is pegged at 4.8% of GDP compared to budget estimate of 4.9% of GDP. The fiscal deficit for the next financial year is projected at 4.4% of GDP. Assuming the government attains the target, it will fulfill the promise made in the 2021-22 budget. Sitharaman had then said that the government intends to bring down the fiscal deficit to a level below 4.5% of GDP by 2025-26. The fiscal deficit in 2020-21 had increased to 9.2% of GDP because of the pandemic-related disruption. The statement under the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act shows, and as noted by Sitharaman in the July budget, the fiscal anchor will move to debt to GDP ratio. The choice of fiscal anchor aligns well in the context of sustained efforts of the government to promote a fiscal transparency through proper disclosure of off-budget borrowings, noted the statement. The FRBM Act, as amended in 2018, had both fiscal deficit and debt targets with an end date. However, from 2026-27, the government would keep the fiscal deficit such that the central government debt remains on a decline path. Just a second. The FRBM statement has given different scenarios for the debt trajectory. In the worst case scenario, assuming a 10% nominal growth and a mild consolidation, central government debt will move from 57.1% of GDP in 2024-25 to 52% in 2030-31. Assuming a nominal growth of 11% and aggressive consolidation, the debt will decline to 47.5% during the same period. The government will aim to attain a debt level of 50% of GDP with a possible deviation of 1 percentage points on either side by March 2031. Among other important announcements, in agriculture, for example, the budget proposed a new program called the Prime Minister Dhanadhanya Krishi Yojana in partnership with state governments. The program will cover 100 districts with low productivity. The aim is to increase productivity, promote crop diversification, and enhance post harvest storage. The program, which is expected to benefit 17 million farmers, will also facilitate long and short term credit. Further, the government will launch a 6-year plan to increase pulses production. Central agencies will procure 3 pulses, Tur, Urad, and Masoor, as much on offer over the next 4 years from farmers who get into an agreement with the agencies. The proposals are aimed at increasing production and productivity to not only augment rural incomes but also contain prices. Food prices have been driving the headline inflation rate in recent times, complicating policy choices for the Reserve Bank of India. To boost the MSME sector, which contributes 36% to manufacturing, the budget has proposed to increase the limit for classification to help them increase scale and attain efficiency. Customized credit cards will also be issued to micro enterprises registered on the Udyam portal with a limit of 5 lakh rupees. This is aimed at improving the availability of operational credit for small enterprises. A new scheme will also be launched for women entrepreneurs. To take the Make in India program forward, the budget proposed setting up of a national manufacturing mission which will cover small, medium and large enterprises. In terms of investment, while the capital expenditure allocation has been pegged at 11.21 trillion rupees, an increase about 10%, an increase of about 10% from the RE, there is a renewed stress on a public-private partnership. All infrastructure related ministries will be expected to come up with a 3-year pipeline of projects to be implemented through this mode. PM Gati Shakti portal data will also be provided to private sector to assist in this effort. Further, the government will launch the second asset monetization plan between 2025 and 2030 to plow back capital worth 10 trillion rupees in new projects. The budget also has proposals to implement urban sector reforms and reforms in the power sector. Sitharaman also announced a nuclear energy mission aimed at developing small modular reactors with an allocation of 20,000 crore rupees. The target is to have 5 indigenously developed SMRs operational by 2033. Sitharaman made several announcements to increase the ease of doing business. In this context, the current model of bilateral investment treaties will be revamped to make it investor friendly. A high-level committee will be set up to review all non-financial sector regulations, certifications and permissions. Reduction in compliance burden, as also highlighted by the latest economic survey, is aimed at improving the business environment. The finance minister also proposed measures to increase activities such as ship leasing units, treasury centers of global companies and insurance offices in the International Financial Services Center. As promised in the last budget, the finance minister announced a rationalization of the customs rate structure, including the removal of 7 tariff rates. After this, there will be only 8 tariff rates, including zero. However, appropriate levels of cess will be imposed to maintain effective duty incidence, except in a few items. She also announced a reduction in effective customs duty on 40 items to provide relief to consumers and support domestic manufacturing. Rules will also be eased on assessment and compliance for importers. Further, to promote exports, the finance minister announced support for domestic manufacturers to integrate with global supply chains. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you everyone. Bye.